Let me give you some clues as to where we are this week. We're in one of the world's leading areas for exhibiting sculpture. You can find cutting-edge architecture that's transforming the city. It's world famous for producing this, forced rhubarb. And the cathedral's reopening after a thoroughly modern makeover. Well, you might be surprised to learn we're in West Yorkshire. Welcome to Wakefield. In this week's Songs of Praise, I'll be finding out how the enterprising people of Wakefield are transforming their city. I'll be visiting the Hepworth Wakefield to learn how faith inspired the city's most famous daughter, and we step inside the newly transformed cathedral. In the week we celebrate St. George's Day, our congregation have dressed especially for the occasion. Like many former coal mining areas, Wakefield has been down on its luck in recent years. But all that's changing. Thanks to an enterprising spirit, the city's enjoying a period of regeneration, and there's a real positive feeling as you talk to people here. Stepping up onto centre stage is Wakefield Cathedral. After a year-long renovation project, it's ready to reveal its new-look nave. In January last year, the congregation sat in the pews for the last time. After the service, the nave was closed and the main doors were locked. 15 months later, the first stage of work is complete. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see inside.
We've been wondering in recent weeks whether the darkness would ever end, but with luck and God's blessing, the light will come. 3, 2, 1.
Doesn't it look good?
So what did you think when they first said, right, we're going to renovate the church and take out the pews?
I was devastated.
What do you think of it now?
I think it's wonderful. I really do. There was a lot of people that didn't like the pews going, but I'm sure they'll have all come to terms with it.
Well, it's wonderful to be here at the start of a new era, but to many people, of course, tradition is just as important. Last Tuesday was St. George's Day, and we begin with a hymn written especially for England's patron saint. And to accompany us, we have members of the Carlton Main Frickley Colliery Brass Band, recently crowned Yorkshire champions. The man with the vision and determination to oversee the £3 million project to create a 21st century nave is the Dean.
I've been amazed and delighted how so many different people have come together in the project. People from all over the city who hadn't been in here before have rallied round to help it happen.
Why was it necessary?
a lot of the infrastructure was failing. So one motivation was actually to safeguard the building for the future. But the second is, this cathedral belongs to the whole community, and we wanted to make a space where we could use it for the whole community and where they'd all be welcome.
The pews, very important to some people, ingrained with history, and for some people it's just not a proper cathedral if there aren't pews there.
I quite liked them, but we needed flexibility, and you can't have flexibility with pews, so they had to go.
When you undertake a project like this, though, you have to be aware, of course, of what you're leaving behind as well. How did you set about protecting that?
I thought that 2012 is a leap year. We'll have a project 366 days, and we'll try and get a different photographer to come in each day and take a photo. And we did that, and we created a website, and I think it's been a marvellous way of bringing the whole community into the project.
Local amateur photographer Mick Wilson had never been inside the cathedral before volunteering.
I took 2 photos, I came in twice, and the one I did on the 16th of December, I asked if I could dedicate that to the memory of my great niece, who sadly died at birth in October. And the cathedral were glad to do that, and they said prayers for her, for Olivia May, and it was, you know, it was nice, and the whole family found it a loving, caring thing to do.
The idea of doing something on January the 6th, on Epiphany, when we celebrate sort of the visit of Magi, and I just thought, if I could find that phrase, the 3 wise men, when I found these guys out here laying this stone, I just thought it would be great fun. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved the fact that you could come and spend as long as you wanted, just wandering around taking photographs.
There was a window where people could peer in, and I noticed that there was a woman there. I thought, wow, let's take a photograph of this. I posted it up, I think, on the 366 Days website, which said, peering in. This, you see, gives us an absolutely tremendous documentary, not only on how the nave is changing, but how the cathedral remained very much alive right through the time that the work was going on.
This area, closer to the high altar, will be the next part of the cathedral to get a makeover. And while building work was going on down there in the nave, for services, everybody had to squeeze in here. So among those working hardest to keep things running smoothly are the choir.
We've kind of added percussion, if you like, you know, with the hammers and soaring and whatever. So when we've been practicing for even songs, it's been quite noisy.
remember quite recently that there was so much dust in the cathedral that we couldn't wear our surplices, which are the white robes that we wear, because all the dust would just gather on the surplices and essentially make them black.
We weren't allowed the heating on, so it was absolutely freezing. You could actually see your breath coming out of your mouth, and that was really quite freaky sometimes, but it didn't really affect our singing at all. It still sounded pretty good.
That characteristic sound of young voices singing choral music is, of course, a wonderful heritage of our country, and it's celebrated every year when young people sing for the title of BBC Radio 2 Young Chorister of the Year. So if you're a chorister, or you know someone who is, you can find full details of the competition on the Songs of Praise website, and just click on BBC Radio 2 Young Chorister of the Year 2013.
I was chosen to be a finalist in 2011. That presented me with a brilliant opportunity to go and sing in St Martin in the Fields in London. I'd recommend, entering for it for anybody, I think, because it was definitely a fantastic experience, which I'd love to do again.